Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Everyday Podcast, where we make learning English a part of your daily routine. I'm Dave, your host.
And I'm Sophia, your friendly co-host. We're here to guide you on your journey to better English skills.
Today, we're diving into a topic that every English learner wants to improve: listening skills. Whether you're a beginner just starting out or looking to take your English to the next level, listening is absolutely key. Isn't that right, Sophia?
Definitely, Dave. Good listening skills open up a world of new words, phrases, and ways of understanding others. And today, we're here to help you take that first step with some easy and practical tips. We'll talk about why listening matters, share some strategies to improve, and discuss how you can make listening practice more engaging and fun.
That's right. So if you've ever felt like understanding native speakers is a challenge, or you just want to improve your listening speed and comprehension, this episode is for you.
And of course, this episode wouldn't be complete without our vocabulary expert, Marco. Marco is going to break down important words and phrases we use in this episode. Marco, say hello to everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm thrilled to be here. You know, vocabulary is kind of like my superpower, so stick around to the end, where I'll explain some key vocabulary and phrases that'll help you really understand today's episode on a whole new level.
I can already tell it's going to be a fun one with you here, Marco. So everyone, stay tuned till the end, because we've got Marco's vocabulary breakdown waiting for you. And of course, don't forget to stick with us for the whole episode if you want to improve your English listening skills.
All right, let's get started.
Let's start with the basics, Sophia. Why are listening skills so important for English learners?
Well, for starters, listening is a massive part of communication. When you're having a conversation, you're not just speaking, you're listening, understanding, and responding. Good listening skills help you catch what others are saying, make sense of it, and keep the conversation flowing naturally. Without good listening skills, it's hard to follow along, especially if the person speaks quickly or has a strong accent.
That makes so much sense. Listening is almost like training your brain and ears to work together. Plus, when you listen to English more often, your ears start to recognize words, sounds, and even different accents more easily.
Exactly. And it also helps with pronunciation. When you listen to native speakers, you pick up on how words are said, the rhythm of their sentences, and their tone. I mean, it's one thing to know vocabulary, but hearing it used in real-life conversations is a totally different experience.
So it's like listening is the foundation for everything else. Understanding, speaking, reading, almost like the glue that holds language together. I always say, if you improve your listening skills, everything else will naturally follow.
Absolutely. The more you listen, the more familiar you become with English sounds, and that makes it easier to learn new words, phrases, and expressions. And of course, you get to learn how English really sounds in different situations.
So listening isn't just about words. It's about the emotion, tone, and even humor that comes through. You learn how to understand people and how to respond naturally. Okay, we've got a solid understanding of why listening is important. Now let's get practical. What are some beginner-friendly tips to start improving listening skills?
Well, first I'd say find content that matches your level. Don't start with something super complicated. Choose simple podcasts, short stories, or videos made for English learners. For example, there are beginner-level podcasts, YouTube channels with clear English, like this channel, obviously, and even audiobooks for kids, which are perfect for starting out.
That's great advice. So start with something easy so you don't get overwhelmed and build your confidence slowly.
Exactly. Here's tip number 2. Listen for the main idea instead of getting stuck on understanding every single word. It's totally fine if you don't know a word or two. Just try to understand the big picture. Listening is about grasping the overall meaning, not getting lost in each tiny detail.
Sometimes people get discouraged because they don't understand every word, but focusing on the main idea sounds much more manageable. You can always look up words later if you want to.
Right, and as you practice, you'll naturally start picking up more details. Another great tip is to use subtitles or transcripts when possible. Reading along while listening is a fantastic way to reinforce what you're hearing.
Oh, subtitles. They really help with connecting the sounds to the words visually, so you're learning in two ways, hearing and seeing.
Exactly. And once you're comfortable, you can turn off the subtitles to see how much you understand on your own. Think of it like a challenge to yourself. It's a great way to measure your improvement.
Now, we know that listening practice is essential, but it can get a bit repetitive sometimes. Do you have any ideas on how to keep it fun, Sophia?
Sure, Dave. One fun way is to listen to English songs. Choose songs with clear lyrics, sing along, and try to catch the words. Songs often use everyday phrases, so you learn in a natural way. Plus, music is a powerful tool for memory.
Music helps with rhythm and intonation. It's like you're learning English without it feeling like studying.
Exactly. Here's another idea. Watch English movies or TV shows with English subtitles. You'll get a feel for how real conversations sound and pick up on expressions and slang. For beginners, you can start with animated shows, as they often use simpler language.
I love that idea. Movies and shows expose you to different accents and speaking styles too, and if you're into a certain genre, like comedy or action, it can make learning more interesting.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to pause and repeat parts if you miss something. It's all about giving yourself time to process.
So songs, movies, and even mimicking what you hear, these can all make listening practice more enjoyable and effective. I think a big part of learning is finding ways to enjoy the process. Now, all these tips sound great, but consistency is what really makes the difference. What would you suggest for someone struggling to stay on track?
I'd say set small, realistic goals. Don't aim for hours of listening every day. Just try 10 to 15 minutes each day. It doesn't have to be long to be effective. The important thing is to keep it consistent.
So, small steps that are easy to stick with, something enjoyable so it feels less like study time and more like me time. For example, coming back and listening to just one of our podcast episodes every day will help with your progress learning English.
Yes, exactly. And another helpful tip is to track your progress. Write down what you listen to each day in a journal. It's motivating to look back and see how far you've come.
Good idea. And tracking helps you recognize your improvements, even if they're small. Progress is progress. Sometimes we forget to celebrate those little wins.
Yes, improvement doesn't happen overnight, but small, consistent efforts will lead to big results over time. Just remember that every bit of listening you do is helping you improve.
Love it. So in other words, steady and consistent wins the race. All right, that was a lot of great advice, Sophia. So Marco, it's over to you. Can you help our listeners with some vocabulary we've just used?
Absolutely, Dave. Now, it's time to dig into today's vocabulary. I'll go over some important words and phrases we've used to make sure you understand and can use them confidently in your English journey. The first word is consistency. Consistency is all about doing something regularly. It's like brushing your teeth every day. You don't even think about it. It's just a habit. In English learning, being consistent means practicing a little each day. This regular effort builds your skills over time. Remember, consistency leads to improvement. Next, let's talk about foundation. A foundation is the base of something important. Think of a house. You need a strong foundation to build it up. In language, listening is like the foundation because it supports all your other skills, like speaking, reading, and writing. Building a strong listening foundation means you're setting yourself up for success. Now, we come to repetition. Repetition means doing something repeatedly, over and over again. In language learning, repetition helps to reinforce what you know. For example, if you listen to the same audio multiple times, you're more likely to remember phrases, understand pronunciation, and catch details you might have missed the first time. Repetition is a powerful tool. It's how we strengthen our memory. The next word is reinforce. To reinforce something means to make it stronger. In language, when you listen and practice repeatedly, you're reinforcing your skills or making them stronger. You're turning knowledge into something solid, like building a wall brick by brick. Every time you practice listening, you're reinforcing your understanding of English. Then, there's intonation. This one's important. Intonation is the rise and fall of your voice when you speak. It adds emotion and meaning. For example, when someone's excited, their voice might rise at the end of a sentence. Intonation helps people understand not just what you say, but how you feel about it. By paying attention to intonation, you can learn to sound more natural in English. Accent is another key term. An accent is the unique way people from different places pronounce words. For example, American English and British English sound different because of their accents. Listening to different accents can help you understand English from around the world, and you'll also become better at recognizing words, even if they're pronounced differently. Now let's talk about context. Context is all about the situation or background of a conversation. It's like the setting in a story. For example, in a restaurant, the context of, "Can I get the bill?" is that you're ready to pay. Understanding context helps you figure out the meaning of words and phrases, even if you don't know every single word. Listening for context clues can be a game changer. Then we have subtitles. Subtitles are the words you see on the screen while watching a video. They show you exactly what people are saying, which helps you follow along. Subtitles are a fantastic tool for beginners because they connect spoken words with written words, helping you build vocabulary and understand pronunciation. The phrase "main idea" is another one we use today. The main idea is the big picture, the main point of a conversation or story. When you're listening, try not to worry about every single word. Instead, focus on understanding the main idea. It's like watching a movie trailer. It gives you a sense of what the movie is about without showing every detail. Focusing on the main idea helps you stay engaged and reduces stress while listening. Another word we discussed is comprehension. Comprehension means understanding. So, if you have good listening comprehension, you're able to understand what you hear. Improving your listening comprehension means you're becoming better at understanding English conversations, which is a major goal for language learners. And finally, let's talk about engaging. Engaging means interesting and fun. If something is engaging, it captures your attention, and you want to keep going. That's why we recommend songs, shows, and movies as learning tools. They're engaging, so you're more likely to stay focused and enjoy the process of learning. So there you have it. Those are the key words and phrases from today's episode. Take some time to review these words and even try to use them in your own sentences. The more you practice, the more natural these words will feel in your everyday English.
Thanks, Marco. That was a fantastic breakdown of the vocabulary. It really helps to go over those terms in detail.
Definitely. It's so helpful to understand the language we're using here so that our listeners can follow along with confidence.
So everyone, that is all for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Your support really helps us reach more people, and we love being a part of your English learning journey.
Thanks for joining us today. Keep practicing, keep listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.